What's up everyone? Today we're playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder for the Nintendo Switch. I'm starting a new game, obviously in one player. If you look on your right side, there's easier characters to play as if you ever decide to play a multiplayer game. There's some safety nets with those characters. I haven't personally played it, but I heard it was a great mode to play if you're playing with people who might not necessarily be good at video games. So this is the newest Super Mario game that's in 2D. I feel like a lot of the 2D entries, a lot of the last 2D entries have been kind of weak. I don't think we really had a good, and I don't consider Super Mario World 2 like a 2D Mario. I think Yoshi's Island is kind of its own thing. So I feel like the last good creative Mario game before this one was Super Mario World. Would that come out in 1991 or whatever? Maybe 90. I don't know when it was released in Japan. But this game has finally took the leap of doing something creative. Now I will say, new Super Mario Bros. On the DS, that was a new thing. And you'll see the new thing in this game, the Wonder Flower. The flower with all that crap hovering around it. That's the new gimmick of the game, which I'll explain shortly. But anyway, so new Super Mario DS kind of took a lot of basically all the old elements and added like a polygonal Mario. I believe he got a new ability of being able to grow and literally walk through the bricks and stuff like that. But the one that came on the Wii U, and then I believe there was one on the 3DS, they were all kind of the same. They kind of reminded me, if you had Super Mario Maker and used the stamp tool and just stamped out levels, there wasn't anything that stood out, excuse me, my English is awesome. But when I look back at like Super Mario Brothers 2, the Doki Doki Panic one, not the Lost Levels version, that's super hard. And then there's Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World. If I look at a screenshot of them without any kind of power up or anything to give it away, they all have a distinct look to them that makes them stand out. Like when I see all the new Super Mario Brothers games together, unless I see some kind of evidence of a higher resolution, I have no idea like what game it is. I feel like they were just challenges, especially when they had like the year Luigi DLC. So when I got my Switch, I didn't even get the 2D Mario, which was the Wii U 2D Mario, because I felt like I already played it on the Wii. And I thought maybe I'd eventually get it, but games really don't go down that much in price on the Switch, so I'm a little bit more careful about what I get. I actually did not purchase this one. I got this as a Christmas gift, which is actually nice. Here we have the new elephant ability. I have mixed feelings about it, you know. I'm glad that they actually decided to create some more animal themed power-ups in a 2D Mario game. I think the last one that I can personally remember was the Bumblebee in the 3D Mario game. I'm sure they've had more, especially with Odyssey, where your hat can possess a bunch of stuff. But the elephant, I don't know. I don't like the physics, even though I do kind of terrible when playing these games because I'm aware a bunch of people are watching. I do get hit, I feel like, more with the elephant because he's slow and he's heavy, but I'm never gonna play my best doing these videos because I know eventually an audience will see these, where when I'm playing this on my own, nobody will see it. So if I screw up, it doesn't matter. Nobody's gonna send me a crappy comment telling me how much I suck. Not that it matters, but sometimes you'll get really excited about a video and hear people's thoughts, you know, and they'll actually talk about the video. Instead, you just get told how much you suck at the game. So that could be a little bit discouraging when all you want to do is make videos and share cool things, and it's more about your gameplay than anything else you're presenting, and you're like, why am I sharing this shit? Because I'm having fun on my own. So yeah, as you can see, you go through the levels, you get Wonder Seeds, and when you get the Wonder Flowers, before you get the Wonder Seeds, it changes the levels in a unique way. And as much as I hate scavenger hunting in games where it locks off future parts of the games, I feel like the Wonder Seeds and Wonder Flowers are a great addition because there's always an element of curiosity, or dare I say wonder, when you pick them up. Because so far I'm about halfway through the game. So far, the whatever happens when I get the flowers, it's always been completely different. So it makes you curious. Okay, what's this going to activate? Now they all can't be winners. Like you saw a caterpillar pipe right now. I guess that's cool to some people, but some things are more clever than others. This level right here is probably my favorite so far when you get the wonder flower. But as far as a Mario game goes, there's not a whole lot of new power-ups. There's a handful. There are some other power-ups that I won't mention. I did cut out like a level or two. One was a repeat of a level just to get an extra seed. Another one was one where I had squirrels or chipmunks, something, and they were shooting nuts at me. I'm no, like literal. I don't know whether, I guess peanuts aren't really considered real nuts, are they? We'll assume they're walnuts. So there was that level I cut out because I wasn't really interested in the wonder seed level. Like was a wonder flower. Wonder seed's what you get at the end. Like that level was just a bunch of like stars coming down. You're invincible the whole time. So I'm like, to stay lower than 30 minutes, I figured that level could go. But I really like this game and it's really nice. One criticism I feel like I will have with this game, because the gameplay's on point. I can't deny that. I really like this game, but like I said, I don't think a lot of people are being critical enough with this game, meaning that they should point out the cons as well, even though it isn't a huge con. I feel like since New Super Mario Brothers, the backgrounds in these games have been super dull and cardboard like, and I've just been going back and playing other 2D games that are rendered in polygons and stuff like that. This is the part I told you I really like with the singing piranha plants. I just think this is the best. I hope there's more weird things like this that are just really out there. I really appreciate this, and I like how the pipes dance around. And this is what I like about the foreground and background in this game. Sometimes it does pull it off. This is one of those levels where it does, where you have stuff in the background moving and animated in the foreground as well while you're in the middle ground. Sometimes it seems like too much is going on, but at the same time, beside the piranha plants in the foreground, everything has a very flat and cardboard look. I hope going in the future with 2D Super Mario Brothers games, I hope they work more in the backgrounds, because I was just looking back at like Sonic Superstars, which I think this game is way better than that, and I love Sonic, and Sonic Superstars has a lot of potential, but I don't know, like Sonic Mania, and it was like a 16-bit style Sonic. It was sprite based. I don't know, like all the 2.5D Sonics feels off, like kind of like how the Mario games did before this one. I don't know. They say they use the same physics from Sonic Mania or whatever, but it feels off. Maybe it's because the camera zoomed in. There could be so many factors that could be the reason. I don't know. It just, after playing so many hours of all the original old school Sonic games, it just feels off. Now this game gets all the physics right, but what Sonic does well with Sonic Superstars is that the backgrounds are interesting. There's always usually something 3D in the background. It's animating. You're seeing it from different camera angles, and I would like the camera every once in a while to zoom in and rotate. I'm in the middle of the game, maybe it'll do it later, but I just don't see that kind of creativity, and it kind of makes it feel bland, which is otherwise a very creative game, and that's kind of disappointing, because that's always a criticism I had. Not so much for the Nintendo DS, because that was kind of an impressive game for the graphical capabilities that system had, but going forward, I always feel like a Mario game should be like a showcase for whatever hardware it's on and what it can do. I always feel like Mario games have always pushed the boundaries of whatever system it was on, and I feel like this game kind of plays it safe, especially with the backgrounds. Now the backgrounds, they look great like if you saw a screenshot of them, but I would love it if like those canyons, the background, maybe the angle would rotate a little bit just to kind of create depth. It just feels like a pop-up book to me. I applaud Nintendo for their creativity with the decision of giving those bull shorts. I think that was a really creative move. I hope more animals in games wear shorts. I think it's really cool. So yeah, as you can see, it's a paint by numbers Mario game until you get the Wonder Flower. This is kind of unique. This is a little bit where exploration goes. You kind of see the trees, and this is a good level design too. You kind of see the trees going down and up a little bit, bouncing, and you're like, oh, I wonder if I could butt stomp on them, and they go down further. And this is a puzzle you set up because the bulls can actually go through the little bricks that they have over there. I don't know what else you would call them. I guess blocks. I don't know. But there's a lot of creative puzzles and stuff like that were in older Mario games I don't really remember in the new Super Mario series. So that's good. It definitely gives me glimpses of Mario 3 and Mario World. Mario 3 is probably hands down my favorite one. I also like how they brought back some of the music, and even that, I don't know what you would call it, like the transition where like the edges are kind of like jagged. That's like from Mario 3, so I absolutely adore that. This is one of the, well, most of the new Super Mario, you don't really rescue the princess, because the princess is usually a playable character, at least since it's been 4 players. You might have had to rescue the princess in the DS version. I haven't played the DS version in so long. Unfortunately, I had an amazing DS collection, and when I was moving out of the house, either it was taken or it got lost in one of my roommates' shit, and I lost most of my DS games, and now they're kind of expensive to replace, especially with some of the Castlevania games. I had RPGs. I had Chrono Trigger on there, which is my favorite RPG of all time. JRPGs, if you want to be very specific. Although I've been reading how developers want to phase out the term JRPG, and I can see that being reasonable, because I think maybe we need to be more descriptive of what kind of game it is, because RPG is just role-playing game. That's like Mario and Sonic being platforming games, but they're totally different. So maybe we need to be more specific, because just isolating a game by where it came from, there's a lot of JRPGs that emulate Western RPGs, and why exclusively point out Japan when there's a lot of Western RPGs that recreate what we used to refer to as the JRPG formula. So if we just call them role-playing games, but then isn't technically every game, unless it's like a puzzle game, any game that you play as a character, isn't that really like a role-playing game? As you can see here, there's 2 flags. That means you can go back to this level. This is one of the levels I cut out. You can see like one of the seeds are missing. All you have to do to get that seed, it's just play the level like I wish this whole game was, where you just go from left to right and you just don't get the Wonder Seed and just play it normally, and then you'll get the 3rd seed. At first when I saw, oh, there's another one hidden, I was kind of intimidated, because scavenger hunts in games, even if it's a game I like, it's like one of the most annoying thing. Like, I adore Kirby and the Forgotten Land, but I hate trying to find like those Waddle Dees or whatever the hell they're called. Sorry if I don't have my Kirby terminology down. I like how they call these swollen tick hippos hoppos. Very, very creative. Also, another puzzle solving element with a new type of enemy. I like all this creativity. So I feel like this game is going into a positive direction. Now, this is the Mario game everybody's talking about, where they have a new voice actor. I personally don't give a shit, because I never liked it when Mario talked. I remember when I saw Mario 64 for the first time, and I grew up watching the Super Mario Brothers cartoons, and he had like a Brooklyn accent. And I just remember playing Mario 64 for the first time and almost being sick to my stomach, hating the way Mario sounded. Now it's normal to me, but when it was new, it was like, what the hell is this shit? You know, it was kind of discouraging at first. I never liked it when Sonic talked either. I never liked the Sonic cartoon. when he talked. I always liked when Sonic was quiet and had a pissed off look on his face. As for Mario, I think it's a combination of growing up and hearing him with a deeper Brooklyn accent. I will say the Super Mario Brothers movie, I did like that a lot, and Mario talked throughout the whole time, but I think it's because he didn't have a high-pitched voice that was stereotypically Italian. I kind of like his more subtle, I believe it's trying to be a subtle Brooklyn accent. I feel like that's more fitting, and I don't think they'll ever do it because now the high-pitched stereotypical Italian American voice is now standard somehow during this time that we live in. That seems to be all right, but I digress. Digress is probably how you would say it. I don't know. I have noise canceling headphones on, so I'm second guessing every time I'm pronouncing everything. Let me reveal all my insecurities during a video. But I feel like that's what makes my videos unique, because it's definitely not the observations. So I'm always glad to see original old school enemies. I hope that there's more of them, because sometimes, like when you play these games, they all have new enemies and then it starts feeling like a different game. Like for instance, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I think it's a fun game, but I dislike the fact that the enemies look so different than anything you fought in other Donkey Kong Country games. And I'll say the same thing about Donkey Kong Country 64. Was it Donkey Kong 64? And then even Donkey Kong Country 3, where they did a redesign. I'm like, this isn't what I remember, but you know, that's just me liking old things and not liking change, I guess. So maybe I'm just acting like an old man. But yeah, the elephant power up, not my favorite. It's kind of clumsy. Another thing, you just saw him kind of slide on the walls. I don't know how I feel about them transitioning some of the stuff from the 3D games into the 2D games. When you're trying to do precise platforming, with me anyway, that kind of gets in the way, but that's just me being more used to the type of physics that you have in Super Mario World and Super Mario 3. So that's on me, actually. Again, these are just my opinions, so you know, if you're annoyed about them, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's lots of things that you love that I think are garbage, and vice versa. This Wonder Flower area was kind of disappointing. They're just like, oh, there's just a bigger one where they bounce around. See, they can't all be winners, but you know, that's the gamble. Now I am curious, like, what's the replay value going to be? Like, how eager are you going to want a scavenger hunt when you see all the gimmicks and you see everything all the Wonder Flowers do? Is this game going to still be fun? And I guess it could be, but I think one of the issues with this game is, for me personally, this is weird because you'll see me die a lot and get hit, but again, like I said, I am conscious that I'm going to put this on the internet later. I love this callback. It's playing the bonus theme from Super Mario World. And also like how it kind of reminds me of, what was it, Mario Paint, where you got to make your own music and actually shows you where the musical notes are. So I like stuff like that. Now here you are having a race. He has roller skates and a lot more legs. I mean, I'm guessing it's a boy. I haven't checked their pronouns or whatever. I apologize if I'm being disrespectful. I don't mean to be. For all I know, that thing might break off like a jellyfish and reproduce. That level I was talking about, that's one of the little rodent things. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a prairie dog, a gopher, a squirrel, or what. For a second I forgot you could ride like those rails by hanging on to them and stuff like that. He's so proud of himself. It's a good sport. I forgot what those things are called. I think Super Mario World was the first game I remember seeing them in. Maybe Nintendo couldn't handle all the segments of that caterpillar. This is a dungeon, and it doesn't feel like a dungeon. I just realized I said this is a dungeon, like you all are stupid and you don't know, and I was just gonna stop there. I was like, oh, I better say something to follow up with it. But back to what I was saying, like, I don't usually complain about difficulty, and like I said, like, clearly you're not going to see the best gameplay from me, knowing that people are gonna watch, because I get super self-conscious. I don't know if you can hear it because I haven't done commentary. I'm still getting used back to doing it. I'm extremely anxious doing it because I'm worried about every little thing I say. I don't have that comfort that I used to have when I used to make these videos where I could just shoot the shit. I'm trying to get to that point, but it's a work in progress. But this game is a little bit too easy, so once you figure out all the wonder seeds, like I was trying to say before, I don't know what the appeal of this game is going to be, because this game is so darn easy if you just play the normal levels. But like I said, I'm midway through. You know, Mario 3 didn't get really super hard until World 5, so it could change. But I've been reading that this is the easiest Mario, and so far, every time I've died, it's just over dumb mistakes. Nothing like that was challenging. I don't know why, even though they stress me out, I always like these Indiana Jones type of segments where everything's falling apart and you're trying to avoid it. It almost feels like a time level, which I hate time levels, which I think this might be the first 2D Mario game that I don't remember having to wait, or not wait, seeing a clock count down and it does that sound where it's telling you to hurry the hell up, and then it stresses me out. But anyway, for some reason this level wasn't stressful, and I really enjoyed it with all the stuff falling down and the time being limited, because if you do wait, you'll be trapped or crushed or whatever. So for some reason that was enjoyable for me, and in a lot of games. Maybe it's just the spectacle of everything falling down, who knows. I will say that the boss fight coming up is incredibly creative, and I really appreciate it, because when I first saw it, I thought it was like a repeat of Mario 3's mid-boss or mini-bosses. I don't know what you would refer to them as, like that dungeon in the middle of the world that you go to and all you do is stomp on like a Koopa, like how this boss battle starts, but it does something a little bit creative that I wasn't expecting, and I really adored it. I also really like the sound work here, where you'll see in a second. I'll explain it. That was so unexpected. I just wanted you to see it for yourself, but I really like the sound design here, where when they're small, their voices get more high pitched, and when they're larger, all of a sudden they get deeper. And I just like the dynamic of this boss fight and how the roles keep changing back and forth. I think it's a simple idea, but incredibly well executed and unexpected, and a creative spin to otherwise, which would have been one of the most boring boss fights ever if it was like the sub bosses in Mario 3. I think I settled on a term, sub boss, where it was just like he was just a normal size. You jump on him, you do the turtle shell back and forth, you avoid it, and you jump on him again. I like how they added that extra element, that sense of wonder, if you will. But overall, I really do enjoy this game. I think this is a step forward from the new Super Mario Brothers games. I hope that they are more creative with the camera angles and the backgrounds in the future. I hope they're not afraid to make the game more difficult, and I hope eventually they give up on scavenger hunt like things to make you progress through the game to try to artificially lengthen it. I just hope that one day maybe all this stuff will be a bonus and you can literally just go through the game and then go back and do all the secondary stuff during your secondary playthrough. I mean, but that's just my opinion. Obviously this game sells well, so they're doing something right. It doesn't matter what Michael wants. But overall, this is a great game. I'm happy that I finally got a video out there talking about this. I can't recommend this game highly enough.
See you later.
Thanks for watching.